The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is the first game within the series to give Link tons of different attire to work with. Outside of Triforce heroes, that is, but let's be honest, collecting the outfits and overall that game isn't the easiest to play. Breath of the Wild lets you customize Hyrule's hero as you want, and man was it something I never knew I wanted so badly. I can play dress up with my favorite video game character and customize him to my playstyle. And let's be honest, Reggie said it best.
Link is hot. I gotta say, Link is hot.
Indeed, Link is hot. So anyways, having all of these different outfits, and each with their own benefits, gives you so many different choices to choose from. So in this video, I'll be going through my top 10 outfits in Breath of the Wild. In a game where Link pretty much becomes Spider-Man, as he can climb anything he sees within Hyrule, the climbing gear becomes a pretty helpful set. Each piece of the climbing set can be found in certain Sheikah shrines. The set uses the power of the ancient technology that makes a no-slip climb far easier to do. Sadly, it doesn't prevent you from slipping when climbing in the rain. I feel like that would have been a nice addition to it as well. But the power of the set still really helps those who are in a rush to climb something and need to maintain their stamina. It allows Link to climb much faster, but on top of it, when upgraded, the set provides Link with a climbing jump stamina up, which pretty much makes the jumping easier and consume less stamina each time Link does it, that way giving Link a much faster way to climb without having to worry about your stamina depleting. While pretty much the only benefit you are going to be getting from it is helping you climb, that is pretty darn helpful in a game that is all about climbing. So obviously with the climbing benefits it gives, along with having Link look like a goddamn snack, it sure deserves a spot on this list. The Salvager Set is a set that really makes no sense being in Breath of the Wild, but the concept is what makes it one of my favorite outfits within the game. The set was actually released in promotion for Xenoblade Chronicles 2, giving players a quest to locate 3 shooting stars, which drops a chest containing a piece of the set. And the set being based off of the outfit that the protagonist in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 wears, that being Rex. Obviously with him actually being a Salvager. But having a crossover of literally my 2 favorite video game franchises felt like a dream come true. If you couldn't tell by my logo. The Master Sword and Monado. Well, the set doesn't really give Link much benefits outside of the swimming abilities when worn, and sadly can't be upgraded to give you additional armor. I have to say, Link sure rocks the outfit far more than Rex. To me, what makes it one of my favorite outfits is that you could pretty much have Link cosplay as Rex. And that's why it deserves a spot on my list. Who would have imagined being able to dress Link up as his dark self? Dark Link was an unknown enemy we fought many times within the series, yet sadly not in Breath of the Wild. The outfit pretty much has Link take on the complete appearance of his dark self, even down to the shadowy black skin and the red glowing eyes. The outfit will even straight up scare NPCs when you walk by them, as they're frightened by your image. And while we've seen Dark Link throughout the series many times, the Dark Link set in Breath of the Wild is based off of Link's appearance from Ocarina of Time, as the tunic and hair resembles Link from that era, which also resemble the Dark Link of that era. And it makes sense as it was the first title within the series to have Dark Link as an enemy. And this set has to be one of the more harder sets to actually obtain, as to get it you have to actually collect a ton of monster parts and trade them to Kilton in exchange for his Mon currency. And in doing so, you'll eventually have enough to buy each piece of the set. I have to say this is by far the most grinding you'll have to do to obtain an outfit within the game, but for me, I absolutely love that fact. But to have the outfit even appear in Kilton's shop, you actually have to restore all 4 Divine Beasts, making it pretty much an endgame set for the reward of taking on all 4 Divine Beasts. Sadly though, as tough as the set is to get, it cannot be upgraded, making its defense extremely weak. But when worn as a set, Link at least gains additional speed at night to make him lurk in the night as the Dark Link. Spooky. Before Link rose to be the princess's appointed knight, he was just another knight within the many knights of Hyrule. The blue champion tunic is what separates him from the rest, giving him his status. But for those who like the more standard look of a classic knight, Link can actually obtain the Soldier Set and dress up as one of those knights. I always wanted to see our hero of Hyrule dressed as an actual knight, and finally we get to do so. And what's awesome is the armor can actually be purchased really early within the game and for pretty cheap. And yet its defensive stats are actually the highest stats you'll get within the game, outside of the Champion's Tunic that is. But if you do pair the Champion's Tunic with the helmet and the greaves of this armor set, you'll have the most defense you can actually get within the game. Obviously after being upgraded, that is. Regardless, this gives Link the look of a medieval knight, which is something I never imagined Link having, as he's always been the boy in green, and now while he's finally the boy in blue, it's so awesome to see him as an actual knight. Much better than him looking like Peter Pan trying to save the world. Don't get me wrong though, I obviously have a soft spot for him being in green, that is. That's what we know him as. While this set isn't obtainable without an amiibo, I had to include it on the list. It's honestly a real shame that Nintendo didn't find another way to obtain these items within the game. Even if they had you pay for it as DLC, that would have been more worth it. At least you would have been able to get the items, as amiibo are so hard to obtain to begin with. One of my suggestions was using the remaining Korok seeds that you had to obtain within the game to trade them for these sets. It would have made a lot of sense, as most of these sets are green tunics and you'd be buying it from Koroks, which reference the hero way back in Ocarina of Time wearing the exact same thing he wore, as the Koroks were once Kokiri, so why can't you buy the outfits from them? But hey, that's beside the point. I'm not even talking about a green tunic right now, we're on something else, and that is the Fierce Deity set. Well, it is still technically a tunic, and it was actually based off of Adult Link's appearance from Ocarina of Time, this set is by far one of the most badass sets within the game, as you get to become the Fierce Deity from Majora's Mask. This was only something Link could become by wearing the Fierce Deity's mask, as he would evolve from a little kid to a giant god. And not only do you wear the armor that the Fierce Deity wears, but you also have his face paint and the completely white eyes that give it that deity look. This coupled with the additional damage you'll also be getting when wearing the full set. Sadly, the amount of damage you get is as much as the Barbarian set. In my opinion, to wear an outfit that is based off of a deity, I do believe you would deserve more damage. Obviously that would break the outfit and make it too OP, but still, I feel like with how weak you really are wearing that set, you don't really feel like the Fierce Deity, you just look like him. But that alone is worth wearing and overall having within the game, as just being able to change Link's appearance to the Fierce Deity set is what makes it one of my favorite outfits within the game. The Zora armor is a personal favorite of mine because of the sentimental value it holds. As first introduced in Twilight Princess, the armor was made to be a traditional set by the Zora Princess to give for her Zora Prince. This pretty much replacing the blue tunic or the Zora tunic from Ocarina of Time. That was just Link's normal tunic but blue, it wasn't anything special. In Twilight Princess they added something much more interesting and actually gave meaning behind the Zora armor itself. This armor, similar to what the blue tunic was, gives Link the ability to pretty much breathe underwater, but on top of that swim like a Zora. And what's awesome is that in Breath of the Wild, that tradition in Twilight Princess is still around among the Zora. And what makes it more special is that the Zora armor Link obtains within the game was actually meant for him. As a Zora Princess at that time, it being Mipha, made it for him. And if you connect the dots, yes, Mipha wanted to marry Link one day, but sadly, due to the Great Calamity, she wasn't able to survive to get to that point. And it's really sad the way Link obtains this armor and figures out why it was perfectly fitted for him. As Mipha's younger brother Sidon tells Link, as obviously Link has forgotten about his past 100 years ago, and lets Link know that Mipha loved him, and that she wanted to marry him, and made the armor for him. And when telling Link about this, he's also letting Mipha's old mentor, Muzo, figure out about this, as Muzo now has a problem with Hylians, as after the Great Calamity they did lose Mipha, losing respect in the Hylians. But with him figuring out how much Mipha meant towards Link, and that it wasn't even Link's fault, he finally grows a soft spot for him. But with this clarification, it gave him a new light on Link, and made him understand much more. So while it's really tragic that Mipha wasn't able to give the armor to Link herself, the concept of this armor is so endearing, and that's what makes it so special. Though what sucks about it is in Breath of the Wild you can't even swim underwater, so the power of this armor really lacks. Well, it does allow you to swim up waterfalls, which I think is really cool and something nice that they added within the game. The lack of being able to swim underwater, or more like a Zora, seems like it's not really that special of an armor set, and it's only used to get past certain points in the game, aka swimming up waterfalls. But the reason behind obtaining this armor and overall the lore behind it makes it such a special set and one of my favorite sets within the game. While the Soldier set is known for the common Knights of Hyrule, the Royal Guard set is known for, well, the Royal Knights of Hyrule. Yeah, that's obvious. Pretty much a level above those common knights. And let's be honest, the way the set looks sure gives it that look of elegance. You look the part of a high-class knight. Sadly, this armor can only be required through the Champion's Ballad DLC, so it's not in the original game. But I have to say, what I love so much about this armor is also the way you have to find it. It's one of my favorite quests within the game. The set, to no surprise, is located throughout Hyrule Castle, and while Hyrule Castle can truly be skipped if you want to reach the final boss, giving you a reason to explore the entirety of the castle for this set makes it so fun. As let's be honest, a lot of the things you find throughout the game, it being Korok seeds, are pretty much useless. The reward isn't anything special, so having something that is a bit more difficult to find and gives you something like this as a reward is so refreshing. I don't know, I can't help it but get mad at the stinking Korok seeds. The reward for it is shit. Literally. Get it? But anyways, while the set doesn't really give you much in terms of stats and defense because you can't even upgrade the set, it's still a pretty damn classy look for Link. Now, while I hate that this set can only be obtained through Amiibo, you can't help me, cause come on, I had to choose at least one of Link's classic tunics for this list. Cause let's be honest, the one and only green tunic you obtain within the game isn't worth this list. While it does give you amazing defense similar to the soldier's outfit, it's honestly not worth it in terms of its looks. By far, in my opinion, it is the ugliest green tunic Link has ever had within the series. Like, I understand Link wears a skirt, but why add shorts to it? And why is the sleeve not all the way? Why does it look like a stinking baseball shirt? Like, the design is absolutely horrible. How is this the green tunic of the game when so many outfits within this game look absolutely amazing? The one outfit that's supposed to reference the previous heroes looks like trash, and the benefits you get from it suck. I honestly thought since it was called the Tunic of the Wild, it would give you all the benefits of the wild, you know, giving you resistance to all types of weather conditions, but no, it does none of that. It's just called the Tunic of the Wild. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about the Tunic of the Wild. I'm here to talk about my favorite green tunic Link has ever had within the franchise, and that is the Tunic of Twilight. This tunic is obviously based off of Link's appearance from Twilight Princess, so now you can dress Link up as the hero of Twilight. Even down to such details as a chainmail underneath his tunic, and the dirty blonde hair parted the way it is. Honestly love the amount of detail Nintendo put into these tunics, but again, it's a real shame that they're locked behind Amiibo. Regardless, it is so nice to be able to dress Link up as my favorite hero in green. As when Twilight Princess first came out, it quickly became my favorite game of all time. Until Breath of the Wild, that is. But during that time, seeing a more realistic look for Link, especially with the chainmail, gave his Peter Pan-like green tunic some actual armor, which was so badass. Till today, this has to be my favorite design of the hero in green. Now, being honest, out of any outfit within Breath of the Wild, the Snowcool Set has to be by far my most used set. I can imagine a lot of people are probably the same, as throughout the game, a huge part of swapping between your armor is to deal with the weather conditions. And let's be honest, most of those weather conditions are usually the fact that it's too cold for Link. So if you don't want to always have to stock up on warm foods or weapons with fire, having this cozy set with you on hand is always helpful. For me, I always have Link wear the Snowcool headdress on any set I'm wearing, as the one layer of warmth it does give is very helpful when trying to get through the cold nights of Gerudo Desert, or those mountains that get a bit too cold when climbing. And what's funny is the headdress is just a feather, yet it gives Link that much warmth. But what makes it so nice is the fact that it is just a feather. It honestly fits with any other outfit you wear. And when fully wearing the outfit, it gives Link such a cozy, nice look. I'll be honest, he looks so cute fully dressed in it when in the cold. I may not be too fond of the Rito, but man do they have a sense of style. Hold up! Now while you may have mentioned one of the best armor sets within the game, that being the Dark Link set, as it turns Link to a goddamn sexy beast with his dark complexion and demon red eyes, you forgot another set that should be on this list. Which is? That would be the Phantom Ganon set. While this set sadly is only obtainable through DLC, you get to dress Link up as the great King of Evil himself, Ganondorf. This set is actually based around Phantom Ganon, specifically the Phantom Ganon in the Forest Temple battle within Ocarina of Time. Seeing Hyrule's hero dress up as Hyrule's most threatening villain is something I never thought I wanted. And similar to the outstanding Dark Link set, you can scare off lowly NPCs just by walking next to them. And you get a pretty fucking cool ass cape. I see where you're coming from, especially the cape. But anyways, let's complete my list. I feel like many can agree with me when I say that the Ancient set is by far the most badass set within Breath of the Wild. Link dresses up as a goddamn guardian warrior, an armor set created by the Sheikah that gives Link insane defensive stats against the terrifying guardians. This set, similar to the Dark Link set, requires Link to grind up for tons of material in order to exchange them for the armor. Though obviously the material needed for this set are ancient parts found from guardian drops. Along with the rupees, Link can get this set from Robbie's cherry found in Akala. The set when worn gives Link a stat boost that increases his damage with other ancient weapons and his defense against the Sheikah's ancient weapons. While the Sheikah and their tech are long forgotten, it is so nice to see this armor set within the game. The helmet even resembles a guardian, as the helmet even covers Link's eyes, making his main eye the one on the helmet. And he also lets his hair back, which is far different than how he does his hair in any other set, giving him this menacing ancient look. As with it, he is now the embodiment of the ancient tech of the Sheikah. And when the armor set is upgraded, it also gives Link the most defense obtainable from any armor outside of the Champion's Tunic, similar to the Salvager Set, but with the additional stat boost against other ancient tech. This making it by far the most powerful armor when worn as a set within the game. So I feel like with everything said, there should be no surprise that this is my absolute favorite outfit within the game. And honestly, the best outfit in Breath of the Wild. Anyways, please let us know what your favorite outfit is in the comments below, and thank you all so much for watching. While there's so many great outfits in Breath of the Wild, it was honestly hard to choose my top 10. But overall, I had a lot of fun doing it, and I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, I've been ZeldaMaster. Be sure to leave a like if you did enjoy, and I'll see you all in the next one.